Hello, loves. Hey, hey, hey. How are you? Hello, loves. I'm gonna change this music. Y'all, I be trying to do like instrumental music, especially because I didn't even put the whole this is not smooth jazz. What is this? What is happening? Hey, 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 hey Sonya, hey Tiffany, how are you? Y'all over here trying to get this music together and it is not cooperating. Lord, I don't even understand it. I be trying not to have Facebook kick me off because of these copyright things. Hey Rachel, how are you? And it's just not working with me. Okay, let's do this. Let's do this. Let's switch it up a little bit. The music is about to go off in a minute anyway. Like, I don't know why I'm trying to set the stage. Like, the curtain's already open and I'm sitting up here trying to set a stage. Hey Toya, how are you? Hey Tanika. Hello ladies, thank you for joining me. Okay, we just gonna do this for now. Y'all, I kind of just wanted to just come talk a little bit today. I don't even have like, this isn't, I really don't want to say this is formal because it's not really formal. Hey Mr. Marcus, how are you? It's not really formal. It's just something that I was kind of thinking about last night. And it really kind of hit me. And so I was like, I need to do a live and I need to go talk to these women about this because this is something that I feel like I cannot be the only one who's experiencing this right now. So, see, I don't turn the music on, now I gotta turn it off. Because I'm about to get into this, y'all. Let me just turn this down a little bit and we're gonna keep it moving. Can y'all hear me? Let me know if you can hear me. Give me some thumbs up and some hearts if you can hear me. I want to be sure that you're getting this message and I want to be sure that this music is like not overpowering me. So give me some hearts and some thumbs up if you can hear me. Thank you so much. Who's that, Vonda? Thank you. Hello, loves. Hey, Joanna. Hey, Maureen. All right, I'm just turning it down actually. Okay, so let's just have a conversation, y'all. I just want to talk. I just want to have a conversation. Simple as that. Boom, boom, boom. Yes, I love it. Okay, so look. Check this out. Why the music stop now? So I was, yesterday evening, I was kind of sitting down in my room and I was kind of reflecting on where I've been and where I am right now and where I'm going, right? And this journey has been so crazy, this entrepreneurial journey, and not even just the entrepreneurial journey. Remember, y'all, I was in Los Angeles the last 11 years, right? So God shifted everything. He shifted everything and had my husband and I move back to Cincinnati, Ohio back in February. So mind you, I came back to Cincinnati kicking and screaming. I kind of really did. I mean, God had already shown me that if I was obedient and came back to Cincinnati, that he would open up the floodgates of heaven and that things were really going to shift for me. And so I'm like, all right, okay, let me just be obedient, right? So I get back to Cincinnati and you know how life just never looks the way that you think it's supposed to look or the way that you originally planned? You have these ideas and these visions in your head, and then when it comes to it, it's like it didn't unfold the way you thought it was supposed to unfold. And so as I've been going through this year, these opportunities have been coming up and they've been arising and things have been shifting and changing so much, especially within the last few months. And one thing I learned is that you have got to be bold in making things happen in your life. None of the situations that I found myself in recently would have happened had I not been bold enough to open up my mouth and ask for opportunities. And so I had to kind of acknowledge that, like, dang, Candace, like, man, all this stuff has been unfolding for you and happening over the last few months. Did it look the way you thought? Not really. But as we get closer to the end of the year, God has really been showing me, hey Amber, hey Rudy, God has really been showing me the manifestations of certain things, but they're coming in like little bite-sized chunks, right? Like I'm over here like, hurry up! Let me just get it already. And there's some things that I know God is like, he has in store for me. And I'm like, Lord, why is it taking 10 million years? And so I was thinking of some things yesterday, and I was like, man, God, like, I can't wait. So one of the things, let me tell y'all, most of y'all may not know, hey, John, most of y'all may not know. So I have been without wheels. And when I say without wheels, without transportation, for almost a year now. My car got taken from me back in Los Angeles, probably around this time last year, right? Over some crazy stuff, y'all. When I tell you God's grace has kept me, it has kept me. And so my car got taken. And so because of that, I owe like a whole bunch of money in order to go ahead and get my license restored, not only just in Los Angeles, but here in Cincinnati, Ohio. So I'm like, all right, Lord, I wasn't really tripping on the license thing because I'm like, I can take a Lyft, I can take an Uber, I'm fine. But as I'm moving forward in the city and really connecting with women, I'm like, I need to get my car. And I'm like, Lord, what is up? Like, when are you going to release me so that I can do the things that you're asking me to do? There's some things that God is asking me to do. And I'm like, well, Lord, you know, I need to be able to get there, right? So he had to show me that everything happens for a reason. And there was a reason that when I got here to Cincinnati, why I didn't have transportation. And here's the thing, is had I had a car, when I first got back home to Cincinnati, baby, you wouldn't have been able to tell me nothing. I would have been all over the place, moving and shaking, trying to do stuff, right? And God had to show me last night. He said, had I given you the car when you wanted it, had I given you the transportation when you originally got back here in Cincinnati, you would have been out of position. And you would have got ahead of me. There's some things that I needed to put in place in order for you to have a safe arrival of where I want you to be. There's some things that I needed to maneuver first. And there's a reason why I have not released this to you yet. And so it's crazy because it's like, God, you're showing me the vision. Like, you're showing me these things that you're saying that I can have. And you're moving me forward. But I'm like, I feel like I'm like grasping and I'm touching it. And I'm like, this close. But he won't release me. And I'm like, Jesus, please just release me. And he's like, you're not ready yet. You're not ready yet. You know, I want you to be sure that you're ready to move in the timing that I have for you. And that's something that I really had to understand, is that my timing is not God's timing. God's timing is not always our timing. You know, we operate in this time-space continuum where I feel like, well, Lord, if I don't have a car by such and such a time, then I'm not going to be able to do what I got to do. No, that's not the case. God is saying that I'm positioning you for some things, and I need you not to get ahead of yourself. And so I'm wondering how many of you are feeling like you're in this space right now where you can see it and you can smell it and you can almost touch it. But it's like God will not release you to have it. And you're like, well, what is the problem? Like, why is it taking so long? Like, Lord, you already showing me what you want me to have, but why? Why am I like this close and I can't touch it? And as I was really kind of meditating on this last night, God was showing me, like, I have you in a holding pattern where I need to maneuver some things in place on the ground in order for you to have a safe landing. And so when we think about a holding pattern is ultimately, yes, to assure that you have a safe landing. And I want to read some things to you here. That some things that I realize when it comes to a holding pattern. And when God has us, hey, April, oh my God, you were speaking to me. Thank you. I'm just trying to share with you what God shared with me last night, because I get so excited about things, y'all. And when I'm excited about it, when I'm excited about vision, I'm so passionate about things. And I know that I can kind of get ahead of myself and start getting out of order, doing things that I think is supposed to happen. And God is like, no, I need you to slow your roll before you mess it up. And so I think God, a lot of times, he puts us in a position where we're in this holding pattern because he doesn't want us to land prematurely and mess up the very thing that he has for us. So when we're thinking about a holding pattern, for those of you who don't really know what a holding pattern is, have you ever been on an airplane and you're getting ready to make the land, but you're just still like circling? You're going in circles in the air. You can see the ground. You can see the cars on the ground. You can see the buildings on the ground. You can see the airport. You can see the runway, all the other planes. You can see everything. And it's just like you're so close to it, but you haven't been cleared for landing. And so when we're talking about this holding pattern, the holding pattern is essentially a place for you to kind of hang out until everything on the ground is clear. And this is what God is saying to so many of us in this moment, is that I have you in this holding pattern. I'm not telling you no, but what I'm saying is I need you to wait right now, because there's some things that I need to clear on the ground first. Some things that I need to position first before I bring you in. And if I let you in right now, you're either going to get hurt or you're going to mess it up. Okay? And so when I was really kind of looking at what this holding pattern was and what it meant, there's a couple of things and there's a couple of reasons why we are placed in holding patterns, okay? And so a holding pattern is really an aircraft that's circling the airport until he's safe to land. And so let's talk about a few reasons why an aircraft may be put in a holding pattern. And what's so crazy is how parallel this is to our lives. Yo. So number one is that there's an emergency at the airport that prevents the aircraft from landing. There are some things that God has to take care of that may be considered an emergency. So that means it's a dangerous habitat for you to land in. God is trying to clear up this danger so that when you get into this next season, when you get into this next moment, you're not hurt. And that the gift that's on the inside of you doesn't get destroyed, okay? The second one is there's an equipment outage that prevents the aircraft from landing. God wants to make sure that everything is in its functioning state before you walk through the doors. You don't want to walk through the doors of a party and you get into the party and all the lights is out, the speakers ain't working, you ain't got the food out yet. You want to be sure that everything is in its functional state before you get there. And this is the reason why God is not releasing us to things, because things ain't ready yet. And he understands that if he just left it up to you, baby, you bust through this door to the party and the party's not even set up. You don't want to bust through the door to the party ain't set up, and now your expectations are completely blown. Thirdly, an airport has reached its traffic capacity, and aircrafts are required to hold and maintain a safe and orderly flow on traffic. So God is trying to move some people out of the way so that you will have room. We're still up here trying to hurry up and get to spaces and get to places that we know that we're called to be, but it's not the time, because there's some people that's already in these positions that God has to move out before you can move in. If you were to come into this position now, guess what? There's no room for you. You cannot land an aircraft on a runway that has a whole bunch of planes on it already. They've got to be moved out to make room for you. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, the fourth thing is an aircraft has a problem and the pilots request to hold in order to have time to troubleshoot the problem. So when we're in our space that we're in now, we're looking down and we're like, God, I see the airport, I see the cars, I see the people. God's like, I need you to fix some things on the inside of you first. Before I open the gates to let you land safely, there's some things that you got to fix internally first before I give you clearance to go. And so this is where we're like, okay, God, what internally do I need to shift and change so that I can be released into the promise that you're showing me? I feel so close to it, but I can't even touch it. That's because there's some things that you got to shift internally in order to make a safe landing. Because if you don't shift them and you try to land anyway, you will blow up not only yourself, but everybody else on that plane. It's too many people that are attached to you. Their lives and their purposes are attached to you, that if you mess this up, guess what? They're going down with you. And the last thing was that the reason that an aircraft may be put in a holding pattern is weather. Weather is the most common reason for holding and has resulted in an aircraft not willing or being able to proceed. And this normally happens in the summer during the thunderstorms. So there is a storm on the ground that God is trying to protect you from, and it's just not safe to land yet. There's a storm that is passing through that God is trying to pull you in after the storm. We get so worried about this storm, and God is trying to say there's a storm going on right now spiritually, not even just spiritually, but physically as well, that I'm trying to clear before you come in. But if you were to, once again, take things by your own hands and say, I'm going to do it anyway, guess what? You're walking dead smack in the middle of the storm that you could have avoided had you just waited. Had you just simply waited. And so I want to encourage you today. Yes, Linda, it is time for change. I want to encourage you today that God is not denying the dream. God is not denying the vision. God is simply saying, I have you in a holding pattern where you're hovering. You're hovering. I'm holding you up and you're hovering until the conditions to land are okay. Until I can get you in a place where I've cleared everything out and made room for you. Until I can set the stage for you. You are almost there. The fact that you can see the ground, the fact that you can see the airport, you can see the cars, you can see the runway, that means you are so close. You cannot give up now. You cannot turn off the plane now like, you know what? Well, I'm just going to turn off the plane and just fall out of the sky. No. You sit in your holding pattern and you pray and you wait. You pray and you wait. Because trust and believe, you are so close. And there's a reason why God is saying not in this moment. He's not saying no to you, but he's saying not in this moment. I need you to stay in this holding pattern now so I can clear everything else out so that when you land, not only are you safe, but you have the stage, baby. It's time for you to unload. It's time for you to get all the people off the plane so that they can get to their destinations. It's time for you to make your entrance. So I just want to encourage you, if you feel like you're so close to your dreams right now, but you can't quite touch it, keep the faith. Keep holding on. Don't give up because God is making the conditions favorable for your arrival. He's making the conditions favorable for your arrival. Delay is not a denial. But I want you to keep your eye on the vision. Keep your eye on the prize. Whatever it is that God is calling you to right now, understand it's about to happen. But you have to be in position. And he's not going to allow you to get ahead of yourself. And that was my thing. Is I'm like, Lord, just give me the car. Just give me the car and I can do what I need to do. But he's like, no, Candace, if you had the car, you'd be doing too much. There's some things that I need to order for you first and set in place for you first before I give you the freedom to just do what you want to do. And it's crazy because I feel like a lot of times when we're in this holding pattern, for me personally, it feels like I'm in prison, like I'm in jail. Like I'm like, well, God, I'm just in jail and I'm locked up and you just won't let me free. And I have my little temper tantrums like, you won't let me free, Lord. But I understand and God shows me that I will mess it up if he releases me prematurely. And so that's the thing. We don't want to be released prematurely. We want to be sure that all the conditions are set and ready for our arrival so that we can move into a space that's productive, so that we can move into a space that is clear, and so that we can move into a space that is purposeful. Because at the end of the day, if you land on a runway with a whole bunch of other planes, guess who's going to die? You and everybody else. You're going to crash into the person that's God is trying to move them out, but you done came in too soon and boom, you smacking, you crashing them. Everyone on that plane going to die. Everyone on your plane going to die. So there's a reason why you're in a holding pattern right now. And I want to encourage you to just stay the course and just continue to keep your eye on the vision for what God is saying to you in this moment. You know, maybe even explore internally, God, what are the things that I need to shift? What are the things that I need to change so that you can release me to land? Otherwise, baby, you about to be in this holding pattern month after month after month, year after year, flying in circles in the air, looking at the vision. That ain't what we want. Figure out internally, what do I need to shift? What do I need to change? Are there some malfunctions on my plane that I got to fix first before I can land? Consider what God is doing in the atmosphere. Consider what God is doing on the ground and how he's trying to make a way for you. Don't give up. And when I'm speaking to you, I'm speaking to myself because this is what he showed me last night. I was like, I am so daggone close and you just will not give it to me. Have you ever felt like that before? Like you are so close, but you just can't get it. Thank you, Sonia. So, you know, as God began to speak to me last night about this holding pattern and really showing me the specifications of what a holding pattern looks like, I was like, okay, well then let me just be quiet and mind my business and just trust you, Lord. Because at the end of the day, when we're even talking about the natural and we're talking about a holding pattern and we're talking about being on the plane, if You're circling an airport and you're looking down and you see all these planes on the runway, and your pilot decides, oh, I'm just gonna land. I'm just gonna land now anyway because I'm excited. I'm excited to get home to my family and my kids. And you see this plane starting to dip down into this runway and it's already planes on the runway. You're about to go all the way off. Like, what are you doing? That's the natural. That's the natural. So when we can really understand the parallel in the spiritual, we understand the danger of landing prematurely. That should have been this title. The danger of landing prematurely. So I want you to be blessed, in this moment while you're in this holding pattern, when God has you able to see the vision, yet you're not able to touch it. There's a reason why. There's a reason why. God is maneuvering some things. God is shifting some things. And he wants to give you the entrance, the safe entrance that you deserve moving into this next season. Okay? So I think that's all I wanted to say to y'all. Let me check these comments. I kind of like went off. So everybody that came into the room, hey. Hi, Rima. Hello, love. Y'all, let me see. Let me go back through these comments. Okay. There's about 112 y'all that came in. And I missed all the comments. And this light is all up in my face right now. Okay. You know what? Let's do this. Hey, Sheikah. Oh, and y'all still talking. Okay. April says you're speaking to me. Let me move my thumb, y'all. Y'all know her thumb all in the way. Wow, I received a similar word from God on today. Awesome, awesome. I'm so glad that it was a confirmation. Tanika says you better come on. Sheikah says help today. Hey, Gerald. Hey, Wilma. Hey, Linda. Linda says this is me. Have mercy. Hey, Ashley. Hi, Pastor Daryl. Gerald, you have to become a millionaire inside before you are a millionaire in your bank account. Baby, that'll preach right there. That is so the truth. It's all about the mentality. It's all about the mindset. It's all about seeing the person that you want to become before you can actually touch it and be her or him. Hey, Jocelyn. Honey, it's a couple of y'all. Juan Trees, Nylisha, Angelica. When Nylisha, is that your name, honey? Hopefully I'm saying it right. She says, hey, loving this. Hey, Angelica. April says, yes, just stuck. It's best to be obedient. Absolutely. Hey, Rima. Hey, Crystal. Thank you. Gerald says, let the vision marinate. Don't take it out too early. Absolutely. Look, Gerald, you need to come on here and speak. Absolutely. Let it marinate. Don't take it out too early, honey. Hi, Diana. Hey, Crystal. Hello, all you beautiful people. Okay, so, that was kind of my word, y'all. That was really all I had. When God was showing me this last night, it was like super, super late. Hold on. Nylesia. Girl, I had your name all jacked up. I am so sorry. Nylesia. There we go. Thank you, honey. But yeah, it was like 2 o'clock in the morning or something when God was showing me this last night. And I was like, I need to go live because I cannot be the only one that feels like this. That feels like I'm so close to it and I can't even touch it. I'm like, Jesus, like, can you just release me already? So I really kind of just wanted to encourage you, for those of you who are feeling like that, so that you understand that you're just in a holding pattern. That's all it is. It's not a denial. God is not saying no. God is showing you the vision for a reason. You have to be able to keep your eyes on the prize, because when you can keep your eyes on the prize, that keeps you from really being distracted and going, every which way. You've got to focus on what God is showing you and understand that in time, it will happen. And time is almost here, but just persist. Don't give up. Don't give up. And don't step out there too early, because if you step out there too early, you're going to mess it up. You're going to mess it up. God wants you to have so much, but if you do too much too soon, you're going to jack it up, yo. So I want to encourage you just to continue on the path that you're on. Keep being obedient, doing what God is calling you to do. Take some time and really go internally and make some shifts, so that you can be released into these blessings. I promise you it'll be the best thing that you have ever done. And it's going to teach you a lesson as you move forward into new seasons. And as you move forward into bigger blessings, God is going to show you places where I have you holding right now. I have you holding right now. I'm not telling you no, but I just need you to hang tight for a moment because I'm trying to clear some things so that I can bring you in. Okay? Diana, so blessed you allowed God to use you so that we receive this message. Thank you so much. To God be the glory. To God be the glory. This is just a message that I wanted to share with you that he showed me. Because when I tell you I'm ready to have a car and drive right now, I'm like, this is absolutely outrageous. Like, I have never in my life not had a car. And for me to not have a car for almost a year, I'm like, this is crazy. And if I'm keeping it 100% honest with you, for me, it brings me shame and embarrassment to be like, I got to take an Uber and I got to take a Lyft somewhere. Like, I had to really deal with those feelings of shame and embarrassment because I didn't want to be like, oh, I'm not driving, or oh, I don't have a car. And, you know, I had to kind of learn to shift my mindset sometimes and be like, well, how about all the people in New York and these bigger cities that are taking public transportation? They own buses and they own trains. They're not worried about not having a car. Like, as long as you can get to where you need to be. And so I had to start really trying to shift that mindset. And to be honest with you, even coming on this video to be transparent enough to tell you the real deal details of what I'm expecting. Like, a car is not the only thing that I'm waiting on God to release me to, but just even being honest enough to tell the whole world, Candace doesn't have a car right now. Do you not understand the boldness that it's taken me to do this, to overcome my own fears of what people are going to say? Like, oh, she ain't got a car. Like, the reality of it is like, who's talking about people without a car? Like, so what? You ain't got a car, you ain't got a car. You better Uber and Lyft it somewhere. So for me, this is really coming out of my comfort zone, to be honest with you all about where I'm at in my life right now and what I'm expecting from God and how I'm expecting God to move and the reasons why he has not released certain things to me, because he knows Candace is going to do too much and get ahead of herself because she get excited about stuff. So that's where I'm at. God sent me on a journey and it hasn't unfolded the way I visioned, but I heard him say, not yet. Thank you, Lord, for confirmation. You're so welcome. You're so welcome, love. So I hope that, you know, this has been a message of confirmation for many of you who are in the holding pattern, for many of you who are in the waiting space right now to your blessings. God is not telling you no. He's just telling you, I need to get a few things in position. And if you could just hang tight, you will not regret it. So I love y'all so much. I think I saw all the comments. I love y'all so, so much. And I'm going to get ready to head out of here. So if you're just now joining me, be sure that you catch the replay. This was not a long video, and this is a message that you need to hear. So if you're here with me, please, please, please share this out. Share this out. Just hit the little button at the bottom of your screen and share this video out, because there's so many of us visionaries, so many of us influencers, so many of us powerhouse men and women of God who are doing what he's asking us to do, and we're trying to do great things, and we're just like, God, when? When is it my turn? When is it my time? And I don't want you to get weary in well doing, and I don't want you to get discouraged, and I just want you to understand that God has not forgot about you. He's just maneuvering some things to get in place. Thank you for sharing, Sonia. Okay, yes, catch the replay. Please catch the replay. But share this out. Share this out with your family and with your friends, and just be encouraged and understand that we're already in this new season. God is just moving some things so that he can open the door for you to do what he's called you to do, okay? This season is about purpose. It's about walking in your purpose unapologetically. It's about being bold. It's about being fearless. It's about being confident, and it's about being courageous. Don't worry about what everybody else got to say. You do what God told you to do, okay? And I'm going to leave you with that. I love y'all so much. Have a great evening. Mwah. Candace Gray, the Courage Coach, signing out.